What's up, guys? It's Prahatma Gandhi here with some more Choices That Matter and the sun went out. And in the last episode, we're in Flying Falls, Canada, and we met Etienne, who is Professor Soul's son. And we learned that there's more scientists being murdered here, so now we're investigating that, or a collapsed gas tunnel in the middle of the forest, I guess, because we're marching into the forest. So, and in the last episode, I chose we were talking about the I believe it was the mayor, maybe, or the governor of this area, and he started talking about her, and I said, "Flexible sounds like you don't approve." So here's his response. Sometimes kids light fires in the forest. I'd like to chuck them in jail for the night, put the fear of God into them. She'd rather say boys will be boys and let it go. It's a little extreme, but throw them in jail. They will definitely stop. But you gotta separate them from the real criminals, you know. He cast me a sideways look and raised an eyebrow. We were now walking shoulder to shoulder comfortably in the darkness created by the looming trees. What the heck? Oh, heck no, yeah. What? Hey, man, you getting real close, bro. Better back your ass up. Is there a question about her character that I should be aware of? I shrugged, reluctant to alter Etienne's perception of a person he possibly trusted. She was the one who reported the collapsed gas and maintenance tunnels. I read off Modi's screen. Well, she signed off on it at least. Etienne's face darkened. She's mistaken then, he said, worry creeping into his tone. There's been enough going on around here. It's entirely possible that she made a mistake in the mayhem and we're chasing our own tails. I shrugged again, non-committal. Did I say that right? Yeah, I did. I'd make my own mind up about it once we reached our destination. Snap. A twig snapped ahead of us in the dim. Etienne and I both froze where we stood. Uh-oh. Oh no. Is it the 100th day? Don't stop following me. He looked to me for direction. Sneak forward for a closer look or avoid the area creeping around the source of the sound. Sneak forward for a closer look. I want to know what this is. Holding a finger to my lips, I motioned for Etienne to follow me closer to the noise. He put his hand on his gun, ready for anything. Okay, he's got a gun. Good. Good. Slowly, I stepped forward, walking to make my footsteps as light as possible. Wind gusted against my cheeks, so I adjusted to make sure I wasn't going to be scented if it was a simple animal I was sneaking up on. Etienne followed in my footsteps almost perfectly, somehow making himself completely silent. Suddenly, he grabbed my arm and pulled me closer to the ground. Before I could complain, I saw the reason why. It's 100th day! A bear! Oh, there's a bear. Lumbering along on all fours, was scrounging around in the undergrowth. A chill ran down my spine and Modi vibrated on my wrist. Teacher, bears in this part of Canada should be in hibernation for another 3 months. From Etienne's shocked expression beside me, Modi wasn't wrong. Uh-oh. I caught Etienne's attention and motioned for him to move carefully and safely away from the bear. Why isn't that bear sleeping like the damned? Yes. I have no idea. I knew the animals had been acting erratic recently, but this is something else. Oh. He shook his head sharply, moving faster. Come on, if she's awake, then she's gonna be cranky. We don't want to be caught up in that. I don't want to see you get mauled by a bear. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Creeping carefully but stealthily away from the disturbance in the woods, I only let out a breath when we reached a steep decline. From this angle, hopefully we'd see anything coming before it killed us. Etienne also straightened, seconding my sigh of relief. It isn't much farther now, he said. Chagrin. What? Huh? Chagrin. That is an A. That's definitely an A. Chagrin on his face. I smiled too, relieved that I wasn't alone. An errant thought of Sharon crossed my mind. By now she'd be in Australia and searching for Chrissy. Hopefully her search was going to be better than mine. Modi emailed Sharon, let her know I've landed in Canada and ask how the search for Chrissy's going. Also, ask how Australia is and what effect the sun has had over there. Yes, teacher. I hope Miss Sharon has found Miss Chrissy. Do you think we will see them soon? I don't know. I hope so. I hope so. Let me know when you get a response. I don't think so. We're chasing different things, Modi. That is right. But I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I see, teacher. I will send that message now. The path Etienne and I were following narrowed ahead of us, and he tossed a look over his shoulder at me. See, there's nothing here. It's woods like the rest of the woods, snapping branches and scares aside. I frowned, finding it difficult to think that Dolores would send me on a chase that wasn't going to be fruitful. I strained my eyes to see what was around the next bend in the thick trees. Etienne saw me looking and chuckled. No one trusts the park warden, he sighed dramatically, continuing on. I smiled wistfully. At least he was in a better mood. I pulled out my phone to check the exact coordinates as I turned a corner and nearly crashed straight into the stiff form of Etienne. Damn. What? I stopped when I realized exactly what. Walking that extra few feet had brought into view a clearing centered around a mouth of a cement tunnel reduced to rubble. No one trusts the park warden, huh? Yeah. Yeah. No one does because you don't know what you're talking about. I thought you said there was nothing here. Modi double-checked that there isn't any record of this, particularly blueprints or print. I'm not gonna be rude, even though I literally just said that. Okay, so just double-check. Certainly, teacher. I've already done a preliminary search, but I would try some other avenues. Once you have discovered elements of the structure, I will also search for other structures similar on file. I suggest the easiest way of uncovering its purpose is to uncover the entrance. I tried not to laugh at Modi's attempt at humor and failed. Sometimes I just wanted to shake the hand of his programmers. Together, Etienne and I approached the rubble, shifting it around with our feet. Etienne, recovered from his initial shock, was now approaching the situation with deliberation and determination, an approach I assumed he used with most things. Look here, he said, suddenly pointing closer to one corner where the main structure still held some strength. It looks like someone or a group of someones have made their way through the rubble already. I frowned, looking into the makeshift tunnel Etienne had noticed. I wasn't claustrophobic, but looking down there made me feel like I was. You can't seriously want to go down there. Shouldn't there be reports of victims at the hospital? You can't seriously want to go down there. No, I'm not letting you. Oh. Did my chair just pop? Yes, it did. How dare it. Etienne looked green, but he didn't back down. What? Oh no, man, don't go down there. Do you have a better way of figuring out what the hell this is doing in my forest? Your forest? No, this is the Canadian government forest, okay? You don't own it. He asked, dropping his bag and jacket on the snow a little distance away. Bro, don't, 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 don't go down there. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, God. He fished out his flashlight and a small first aid kit before kicking the rest of his belongings under the shade of the tree. Oh, no. He's gonna go down there. I'm gonna then have to go down there and save his ass, and I'm probably gonna get my foot crushed by a freaking a loose flagstone. I sighed and mentally prepared myself for the task of squeezing into the very small opening. Oh no, I gotta go down there too. Oh! Teacher, I must advise against the course of action. I'm trying to tell him, don't go down there, but now I got to go down there. There is no evidence to suggest that the structure is stable. I know this. I estimate the possibility of cave-in at 72%. Good. Yeah, that's 28% of not a cave-in. No. Modi, help in a different way, please. Yes, teacher. I gritted my teeth as Etienne carefully lowered himself into the tunnel's dugout entrance. Rock shifted underneath him, but he didn't slow down, just set his feet more carefully. Rubbing my neck, I prepared to follow him. Wait. Are you alright? I need to make sure this dude alright. There's something here, and they aren't moving. What? Etienne called back, his voice muffled and hidden under the sound of sliding rocks. Oh no. Are they hurt? I asked, shining my own flashlight into the hole, but all I could see was Etienne's back. I can't tell. He might be bleeding. I'm gonna try and pull him out. Help me from there. Swearing under my breath, I pulled off my jacket, preparing to use it as a sling to get the wounded man out. I tossed one sleeve down, telling Etienne to tie it around the torso of the man, which he quickly did. Alright, ready? I'm gonna try and support him down here if you pull. On my mark. Together we maneuvered the man, youngish and of Asian descent, out of the rubble and into the light. Etienne was right. There was a large red stain on his back. Oh no, the 100th day. The 100th day got to him. Oh no, don't. Did I just haul up a dead body? Man, we both got our freaking DNA on this guy now. Rocks shifted again and I heard him cry out in French. What's happening? I called, unable to see him behind the injured man. I'm fine, just get him out so I can get out of here, he cried back, a sharp pain-filled edge to his voice. After 15 minutes of huffing and pulling, we managed to move the body out of the rocks and onto the snow-covered grass, Etienne following close behind. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead and he swiped it away without care. I'm calling the hospital, he panted, pulling out his phone. I saw bandages. If he's been treated, they might know who he is. Perform first aid first, bro. Etienne slowly closed his phone. Oh, he's got a slide phone. He's either got himself one of the flip phones where you can be like, hold on, let me make a call, and you flip that out, and then you pull the antenna out, and you're like, hello. Or he's got one where you gotta slide it just to pull up the keyboard text. Okay, so yeah, he closed his phone. Carefully, I rolled up the man's shirt looking for the injury. Swaths of gauze padded the area, and still using my jacket to avoid making contact with his blood, I peeled them away. Ugh. Underneath, I found what was unmistakably a gunshot wound. Yep. It's stitches oozing blood. Oh, good lord. Yep. He's been shot by the 100th day. That fits their profile. Using Etienne's first aid kit, I replaced the gauze in his shirt before carefully rolling him onto his back. With luck, the pressure of him lying on it would slow the bleeding from the burst stitches. He must be one of the scientists, mused Etienne. Shot in the back like the others. Why isn't he at the hospital? Etienne knelt next to him. I tilted my head to the side. Of course. Pulling out my own phone, I cycled through the photos until I found the one matching his description and showed it to Etienne. He was one of the scientists. Looks like you're right, Etienne, I said to him. Maybe he'll have answers for us. Let's hope so. We need to get him back to the hospital, I grunted, looking around and realizing I had no idea how to carry him without worsening his injuries. He's lost a lot of blood. Suddenly, the scientist's eyes sprung open. "Don't kill me," he yelled, panicked. "What do you want with the Aetherites?" What? What's Aetherites? He'll probably tell me who the Aetherites later anyways. I need to calm him down. "We aren't gonna hurt you." Whoa, calm down." Etienne held his hands up in the generic gesture of do no harm, easing back from the scientist whose wide panicked eyes betrayed the pain he was in. I glanced at Etienne and copied his movements. Oh, good lord. The scientist took stock of his surroundings and then looked up at Etienne. Once again, Etienne absent-mindedly swiped at the blood collecting on his forehead as if it were only a nuisance. "We pulled you out from under that," he motioned to the rubble behind us with a quick jerk of his head. "You should still be in a hospital. I'm Etienne, park warden." Oh, good. "Wong," the scientist replied with his name. "I couldn't stay in the hospital. They're looking for me. If they find me, I'll be dead, like Ben and Susan, maybe Lucky and Lewis now, too." Uh-oh. Oh. They who? We know who. The 100th day. We know who. We know who. Ben and Susan? Other scientists? "It doesn't matter," Wong answered, trying to pull himself upright and wincing with pain. I placed my hand on his shoulders, keeping him down. "It doesn't matter," he repeated. "I have to get out of here, or I'm next." "Where will you go?" Etienne argued, leaning over to grab his first aid kit and rummaging around. "You can't just hide in the woods forever." "We have places," Wong said, his eyes glazing over with pain. "If I can reconnect with base, shouldn't have come here. Pointless to hope." Slowly his eyes closed again. His breathing became less labored as the pain subsided to unconsciousness. Etienne sat back on his heels, sighing. He's lost a lot of blood. We need to get him some help, and I don't have enough here to do it myself," he said, tossing his first aid kit to the side. "Mr. Wong needs immediate medical assistant, teacher. His injuries combined with the cold will send him into shock." Uh-oh. "You better call the hospital," I sighed, scrubbing my face. "They can send help." "Sure they can," Etienne scoffed, "but we still have to get him to the main road or they won't know where to find us." I hadn't considered that. "Teacher, manually carrying Mr. Wong could worsen his condition. I suggest using a gurney or similar instrument." "Yes, well, we don't have a gurney, Modi. We have to think of something else." "We'll have to carry him," Etienne surmised, shouldering his belongings and brushing off his legs. As I've already said, Mr. Etienne, that could worsen his condition." Wait, hold on. He's talking to him right now. Has he been talking out loud this whole time? And I just started to notice it. Supporting his weight could be much less damaging. Etienne froze, his face going pale, and I looked down at Modi's face. Modi had just used the speaker to talk directly to Etienne. It had never done that before. What?
Modi, you better shut your ass up, Modi. You better shut your ass up.
No, don't play it off. No, Modi, how did you do that? My most recent update allows me to access the speaker in times of need, teacher. Mr. Etienne required additional information, and I gave it. Etienne, still pale as a ghost, swallowed nervously. "I don't know if I like that," he laughed dryly. I shook my head. I wasn't sure I was okay with it either. Modi gets constant updates. It's nothing unusual. They constantly surprise me too. Yes, they do. Still shaken, Etienne brushed a hand through his hair in thought. The park warden seemed to be eyeing Modi uncomfortably. I looked down at the form of Wong, his chest rising and falling steadily. We couldn't just leave him here. You kinda could, but that's messed up. Call the hospital, that's the first step. Etienne nodded and took out his phone, dialed quickly, and stepped away to a polite distance. I had only enough time to check Wong's vitals before he was back. They're on their way. The only thing for it is to split up, Etienne grumbled, looking down at Wong as well. One of us goes to meet the ambulance and lead them back here, while the other waits with Wong. I hummed in agreement. It would be just our luck if a predator stumbled across an easy meal like him. Etienne stilled. He'd obviously forgotten the dangers of the forest. You should go and meet them, he decided, his hand on his gun. I'm the park warden. I should deal with the wildlife if the need arises. I raised an eyebrow at him, and if I run into any while finding my way back to the main road? Etienne You're right. He hadn't considered that option either. He looked back and forth between me and Wong, clearly trying to decide what the safer option would be. I'll fetch the help. Oh, dang it. Alright. Okay, you know what? I probably only have enough time to do a couple more choices anyways. Possibly. So, wait here. I'll go fetch help. You better give me that gun, though. Because I'm gonna need that gun. I'm gonna need the gun. Wait. Etienne pulled his gun from its holster and passed it to me. Yes! I expect to get this back without it being discharged, he warned me. It's just a precaution. I wouldn't want you in any danger. Bro. Hey. We just met, bro, and you already care about me. Hey, that's what's up. Hey. I smiled, touched by his concern. I am touched by that concern. That's very concerning. Etienne had a kind manner under his grief for the loss of his father. I'll be careful. I know what I'm doing. Right, Etienne answered sarcastically. I'll keep Wong warm. Be careful. And don't engage the bear. Don't worry, I learned from Red Dead Redemption, okay? Nastas taught me. The bear will leave you alone. You have attacked it. Okay? I learned from Red Dead Redemption, don't attack a bear, because I'll most likely leave you alone. I set off, shaking my head. What kind of idiot would willingly engage an angry, tired bear? Still, Etienne had a very mothering attitude, and I suppose to an experienced park warden, I was just a babe in the woods. Luckily, he needn't have worried. I made it back to the main road without incident, not even seeing a mouse, let alone something big enough to eat me. I was actually surprised that I found the Jeep so quickly. It must have slowed us down more than I thought to creep around in the woods earlier. Mr. Etienne was not impressed with my new capabilities, teacher. Did I do something wrong? Yes, you did. You should have told me your intentions, Modi. Etienne just isn't used to advanced technology, Modi. The bottom one's kind of rude, but he's not. I understand, teacher. I will adjust in future. Yeah, sure you will. Sure you will. I leaned against the Jeep and waited, the cold freezing my limbs. Etienne still had the keys to his car, so there was no chance of me climbing inside and using the heater. You can't use the heater, but you got a heater. The moments ticked by, and I swore at myself for telling Etienne to hold off on calling the hospital. They could have been here much sooner if not for my paranoia. I hunkered lower to wait out to wait out of the wind. Finally, flashing lights rounded the corner and an ambulance pulled up beside the Jeep. I waved and approached the driver's seat. He's through the woods. The words puffed out around me and I grew more aware of the dire situation. Wong was in. Why did I pause there? Through woods, one of the two uniforms asked, his accent heavy and eyebrows bushy. Much trouble. Do you have a stretcher or rope? The language barrier was too thick, so I improvised with complicated hand gestures. Ah, oi, I get. Oh wait, no, that was we. Oi. Or I might have said it right. I don't know. I believe that says yes. I believe that is yes in French. Relief washed over me as they brought out a flexible stretcher as well as blankets and a med kit. Satisfied, I smiled widely at them. Follow me, I gestured, and even if they didn't understand my English, they knew my meaning. Teacher, I have another question. You are always full of questions, Modi. Very well. What is it? It becomes very troublesome when two people speak a different language. Why doesn't everyone learn the major languages or have one central language for organized civilization? Oh, well, most countries in school, they have to learn English, so that kind of is like one of the universal languages. It's not so simple, and to say it would be offensive. Yeah, it kind of is. How brilliant! Send an email to Dolores at once and let her know the plan. No, it's saying so would be offensive. I'm sorry, teacher. I would do more research on the matter until I understand it fully. I shook my head, still amazed at Modi's inquisitiveness after many months of wearing the watch on my wrist. The two emergency officers behind me grumbled in a dialect of French I didn't recognize. I didn't ask Modi to translate. I didn't need to. Etienne stood when we reached him, his jacket strewn over the scientist to keep him warm. There was relief in his eyes, too. We both backed away to let the paramedics do their job. How's he been? I asked, shifting from foot to foot to try and keep the warmth I gathered from the walk. He woke briefly but didn't say anything coherent. Well, not that I could tell, at least. Just something about golden-eyed men. It won't stop following me. I stared at him, absorbing the news. It would make sense that they would be here too. You know who he's talking about, don't you? Etienne asked, tilting his head to the side. You know what? He's related to Professor Soul. I trusted Soul, and Soul was a very paranoid person, from what I know. So, I'm gonna tell him exactly what happened. Okay. Well, you know what? This video is about 25 minutes long, so I'm gonna select that, and then I'll just, yeah. Okay, this is gonna be a very short part, but yes, GoldenEye people tried to kill me in Peru. Okay, well, yeah, now that you know what I chose, and I don't have to remember what I chose in the last episode. So, I'm gonna end it right here. I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode.